And then, yeah, but this will also is being recorded so that all the answers and everything you'll be able to see on our YouTube channel once we've loaded it up there. Yeah, so Carl, that's the basis of how we'll do it. The speakers will each speak for 5 minutes or so. So if you can let them have their time, and then we'll just do all the questions at the end so that we get a chance to hear from everybody. So back to you, Carl. And for those who don't know me, I'm Elizabeth Whitten. I used to manage or be the editor and co-owner of New Zealand Golf magazine. And in that role, I was on the New Golf Industry Council. When we sold the magazine last year, I stayed on council till we had the AGM as one of the women representatives and sort of with my media background. So that's me. Carl, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. Kia ora, everyone. Yeah, if we could just observe normal online forum etiquette. So if you could all make sure that you are on mute. If you do have a question, put it in chat. And as Liz said, we'll try and get to everyone's questions. If we can't, we'll make sure that we have them collected and we'll send an email out with our answers on it afterwards. But thank you for taking time out of your busy day. 3 quick things that I wanted to get into before we do the meaty stuff, which is who we are as a board and what our purpose is, why we're doing this series and why we've kicked off now, and then just an acknowledgement from all of us at the Golf Industry Council to the golf industry itself. So who are we and what do we do? The purpose of the Golf Industry Council is to represent a singular voice for golf. And just by looking around the virtual room, you can see that there's a plethora of people from different parts of the sector. So as a voluntary board, we represent 13 different portions of the industry. That's all of the major associations and then all of the complementary portions of the industry, such as tourism, course design, machinery, etc. So one of our primary roles is advocacy and that singular voice for golf, which has been quite powerful and quite useful of late, you can imagine. The second purpose for us is to undergo specific projects as dictated by the industry. Our 2 most prominent ones have been the Golf Sector Environmental Group, where we have done work with the Department of Conservation to improve golf's environmental sustainability outcomes and our environmental sustainability profile, and also working towards a piece of research to understand and articulate the value of golf to New Zealand through our social benefits, our health and well-being, our financial impact, and also our environmental impact. So an important piece of work. Finally, our role is to bring the industry together to discuss our challenges and opportunities. And then as an industry, decide how we will try and meet those challenges and make the most out of the opportunities we have. And this is more relevant now than ever. So that's why we're doing this series and why we're doing it now, is particularly with the challenges we're facing during COVID, we all needed to fight our immediate fires. And while doing that, we're under great duress, and you can often get quite focused in on your own industry. And so as we come out of these alert levels and we start to connect again with the rest of the industry and think about how we can get golf back to some state of normality, it's going to be really important for us to not only connect with the other portions of the golf sector or the golf industries, but understand the journey they've been through, understand how they've responded to COVID. And so as a full connected industry, we can really get the best results for golf. So that's why we're doing this and why we're doing it now. The last thing from me is just an acknowledgement from the board of the Golf Industry Council to all of those people working tirelessly in the industry to keep the game alive.
Is it 12?
Oh, Marcus, we're going to have to find you, mate. You're not on mute.
All right, I've muted him.
Thanks. So just an acknowledgement to the full industry. We know that there's a lot of people who are under great duress and are working really, really hard to keep the game alive. And we just wanted to say a sincere thank you from all of the associations and all of the sectors that are represented on the board. We know you're doing it tough at the moment. While we've never seen more connection between our industry, we've also never seen a greater challenge. Reach out to anyone on the board. We're all here to help, and we all want the best outcomes for golf. So just thank you for what you're doing. Liz, back to you.
Right, okay, again, just a reminder of everybody, if you can make sure that you are muted. I'm keeping a check on whether you are or not, so if you aren't, I will mute you until we get to question time. So yeah, so as I said before, the first person that we'll have is Carl, talking from the New Zealand golf point of view, just a bit of an update. All of these are going to be just a little bit of an update from these 4 sectors, and see where we're going, what's happening with them, what they have been doing over the past month, what challenges there are, and anything that suggestions they may have, and things that are in the pipeline for moving forward into the next stages. So New Zealand Golf first, back to Carl as the sector relationship manager.
Yeah, thank you, Liz. Sorry, you have to hear off me back to back. I'll try and make it brief. So I'm not going to be able to cover all of the work that we've done because while we're quite lean in comparison to other national sporting organisations or governing bodies for sport, there's still 20 odd of us in New Zealand Golf and a plethora of partners that we work with. So I'll just say that if there's a specific area that you want to know about more, please reach out to me or please reach out to any of the New Zealand Golf team. We're more than happy to spend time on the phone with you or to answer email, so just reach out. As a bit of a general update, there's been 3 key areas that we've really focused on. Advocacy is clearly a key one. So through the leadership of Dean Murphy, our CEO, and our board, we've been advocating really hard into government, into MB, with Grant Robertson, the Minister of Sport and Sport New Zealand, to ensure positive golf outcomes. So you would have seen some of the work done with the RNA and the Supers Association and the Sports Turf Institute. We were advocating initially around turf maintenance and agronomy. So that was a big piece of work for us. As well as advocating for getting golf playable as we move through the alert levels. So through getting it playable now in alert level 3 and providing the guidelines for that and continuing to do so. So advocacy externally has been a big focus of ours. Counter to that, we've also been focusing in on supporting the people in the industry. So we have staff around the country who have been working with our district partners to connect on a regular basis with clubs and facilities, with our club leaders, to understand the concerns that they have, impart, be an ear to just listen to the challenges they have. And then from that, what we've done is we've actually started developing resources and practical tools for people to use to get some positive outcomes. So if you haven't as yet, I would suggest going to golf.co.nz/club resources. That is where we are housing all of our resources, and I'm just going to drop that in chat for everyone now. So through our discussions, we developed with external experts and some of our internal expertise resources around financial considerations, workforce, membership retention and communications, turf maintenance, business continuity, a whole raft of the most important things that our people are telling us they need right now. So we're continuing to build those. A new set will come out later today of a new set of resources there. Just to provide some really basic, practical, very concise things as to what you need to do right now in regards to each one of those situations. So our team as well, as I said, have been connecting, so they are available to anyone that requires that support. So beyond the advocacy and then supporting the people directly, we've also been trying to implement some practical tools around the concerns that people have. So the first one to note is that clearly golf operations have been restricted. And that means that the ability for people to generate revenue has been restricted and cash flow is an issue. So Love Golf Play, our platform, has been able to generate revenue for clubs in the selling of vouchers through any of the products and services that golf clubs or facilities want to sell. So when they have a limited operational capacity, they still have been able to generate revenue through Love Golf Play. N3, our group buying scheme, has allowed people to access discounts, particularly those things that they need to purchase in regards to COVID. So it could be supplies through PPE or hygiene products. So we've been working with N3, our group buying scheme provider. New Zealand Golf has paid for everyone to have, every golf club in the country to have an account there. So there's actually an account waiting for you if you're looking at ways your club can save money. In partnership with the GMA, and Des understands this program intimately, is our work with Apex, a partner of both the Golf Managers and New Zealand Golf. And they are reaching out to clubs to do a free review of golf clubs' insurance to try and improve the quality of their coverage and reduce the cost. So another practical tool that we've implemented there. .golf, our technology provider, they have been working with clubs to reduce the cost of some of their products to increase cash flow. They've also developed new technologies to allow clubs to contact, trace, and register people who are going to golf clubs so that golf can be operational during Alert Level 3. And there's a fair bit more going on with .golf that I think we'll need to address probably at another time, maybe outside of this discussion, but they are doing a lot of work with our clubs. And finally, just one more practical tool. We understand that during this time, people have been concerned about the retention of their members. So our Love Membership campaign has been taking a big ramp up, where we've provided greater promotion of the value of membership, providing support resources, providing personal support through our staff. And shortly we'll be releasing research to clubs around 12,000 members over 4 years and what they've said about what they value for their membership and how you can use that during the current time. So those are some of the practical things that we have done. Just two more things I'd really like to touch on is what the implications of levels 3, 2, and 1 are like from a New Zealand Golf perspective. Our strategy hasn't changed. We are still interested in ensuring a positive profile for golf. We are still interested in supporting our clubs and facilities, and we are still interested in increasing participation through new participants, growing new participants, and retaining our current ones. So what we're looking to do is, as we move through these stages, is keep a really close lens on that while working closely with our people, but then also look at what are the opportunities for golf and what changes are currently occurring and how do we support the industry to come out the back of those in a really, really good way. I'm going to park the discussion there. There's a lot more I could say, but I feel like it might be a good place to pause and move on to someone else. As I did say, if there's anything I haven't covered well enough, please pick up the phone and call me or contact anyone at New Zealand Golf.
Right, thank you, Carl. So if that's prompted any questions, put them in chat. Carl may be able to answer them as we go along while other people are speaking, or we can wait till the end and answer them. But now we'll move on to Des Top, who's the Executive Officer for the General Managers Association of New Zealand. Des.
Elizabeth, before I start, I'm getting a message, a very unstable network.
Okay, we seem to have, well, I've lost Des. Yeah. Okay.
Connection, so please bear with me and advise if it's not appropriate for the Golf Managers Association. For those that don't know anything about the association, we've got 160 members throughout New Zealand and Australia. We've got a board of directors that covers New Zealand. Myself, I work from home as the executive officer and also spend a bit of time at the 19th at Remuera to work, not to partake of any pleasures there. So the objectives of our association are to educate and engage with our members, administrators and board members across the country. Our primary focus is on a BMI education program that we link in with the Club Management Association of America. So far we've got 70 managers undertaking that 5-year course. Last year we had 7 graduate with CC aim of all those people. COVID-19 provided a lot of disappointments for us. Initially, with my involvement as past chairman of NZGIC and co-organiser of the Whole of Golf Conference, obviously having to postpone that was for everybody a huge disappointment, but specifically for the people from GMANs who came together every 2 years, normally about 100 of them, to partake in networking and listen to some top-class speakers from around the world. The other disappointment was that we had to cancel our 220 education program. We hope to re-establish that later in the year, whether it's on-site or by online meeting, we've yet to determine. So what are the opportunities for us? So we see golf as a viable sporting option at alert levels 3 and below. We develop a regular communication program with our members and the wider club management community. We've
completely lost Des from the looks of it.
advisory system service for our members nationally.
Okay, Des, we just lost the last
that we've implemented in recent weeks. Yeah.
We lost the last thing you said as you disappeared. Can you just repeat that again, please?
Okay. I don't think it's a very good connection. Can I drop out of the meeting at the moment and come back? I'll try and improve the reception here.
Okay,
Problem
absolutely.
is that we've got 3 Zoom meetings going on. Sorry?
Okay. Right.
I'll come back.
Thanks, Des. So we'll put a pause on Des's one and we'll move to Spencer, who's one of the executive members of the New Zealand Golf Course Superintendents Association Board, and he's also the course superintendent at Remuera Golf Club. So Spencer, if you want to talk to us about your sector. Hang on, Spencer, you're not unmuted.
You have to come off mute, mate.
There we go. There we go.
Sorry, morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and great to see everyone and share some ideas and see how it's going in the industry. On behalf of the NZGCSA, we'd like to firstly just thank everyone that supported us in our applications to get permission to be able to do golf course maintenance again. New Zealand Golf, amongst a whole heap of other people, were really instrumental in that process. A lot of hours went into it, so thank you to everyone who supported us in that. It was a very uncertain time, but as I said, nice to get back on the golf courses again and looking after our golf courses so we can present something that's attractive and viable to our golfers and the public going forward. A little bit of feedback that I've been getting and we've been getting so far from all the golf courses and golf course maintenance teams in general is obviously everyone's happy to get back, especially when we did. The timing really couldn't have been better. It had been about 3 weeks, and any longer than that could have been quite problematic, and there were some worrying signs developing on a lot of golf courses. Some of those signs that we saw out there, especially in the upper part of the North Island, was disease in greens. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to have been too dramatic, and for the most part, damage was restricted, and there wasn't a lot of damage to golf courses, which is really good. And so the greens are, in general, I believe, in pretty good shape and ready to go for our golfers. The other really nice thing, and was quite fortunate, was we didn't have any tropical cyclone activity. Normally in mid-late autumn, we do tend to get a few cyclones coming through the South Pacific, and the one that went through Vanuatu fortunately missed New Zealand. And why that's a concern for golf course maintenance is not only the normal rain and wind damage, but with the high humidity and temperatures, it can bring a lot of disease, and it can be quite detrimental to turf when we have those conditions. So overall, pretty good. The feedback as well I'm getting is that the golf courses have enjoyed the rest from golf, and that getting the turf back into shape has been fairly straightforward. A lot of golf course superintendents prepared really, really well and put down growth regulators and fungicides, which got us through those first 3 weeks. And overall, things are pretty good. Was really good to see a lot of collaborations between superintendents and club managers during that time. A lot of ideas shared on how to restart and get golf courses back into shape once we open for business, so we can present a decent product to all our golfers, which is really key. And then, speaking of golfers, is obviously managing golfers' expectations on when we return to golf, what our golfers could expect the golf courses to look like. There are various different issues to consider. Obviously, some greens were quite long, and it was explaining to our golfing public how long it would take to get the greens down to shorter cutting heights, better ball roll, faster greens, and provide the surfaces that they come to expect. But how that process plays out if you haven't been able to maintain a golf course for a while. And there were a number of forums which were put together by industry leaders that helped each other explain and put in layman's terms to golfers how to expect or what to expect when they got back to the golf course. So implications for us in level 3, as we know, we've been in golf course maintenance, we've been in level 3, so to speak, for the last couple of weeks since we were allowed to return to work. It's obviously fairly restricted in terms of what we can do. For most golf courses have got small maintenance crews. Social distancing and social spacing is not too much of an issue, but there's been a lot of procedures put in place around using the same machinery and disinfecting and cleaning machinery and making sure that all shared equipment is properly sanitized before reuse by someone else. Other things that we've been considering is obviously, and for the guys with bigger teams, is staggered starting times with their crews, that guys come in at different times of the day, and thereby limiting interactions between too many people, which again is pretty fortunate in most cases that we can do that. The other big thing now that's starting to develop for us is obviously budget restrictions. We know there's no cash flow in the industry really, and in individual golf courses, so it's for us now to start working with our club managers and boards and committees and understanding where the budget constraints are, what we can do, what we can't do, and working together and collaborating with our managers and boards and making sure that we can achieve a high-end product while still considering those budget constraints. Where we see level 2 potentially going for us, it's difficult to say exactly right now. I think most of the stuff that we're doing already will continue in level 2. We might be able to have more health and safety meetings, for example, face-to-face with our teams on golf course maintenance. We could be allowed to do more projects from a guidelines point of view, whether financially we'll be able to do a lot of projects on the courses, such as renovations and rebuilds, those sorts of things. Time will tell, but again, communication, collaboration with other industry partners is really important. Level 2, we'll definitely see more golfers happening out there, which is great. It's great to see already the smiles on the faces of the few that we do have on our courses, but as we go down the levels, we'll see more, and it's just compensating, getting ready adequately for the increased levels of golf. Hopefully that level 2 will bring within the next week or two. Level 1, I'm not too sure what that's going to look like yet. Time will tell. I think it'll be pretty much back to normal, except for there'll be travel restrictions still in place, and how that's going to affect our industry is yet to be seen from a golf course maintenance point of view. Staff safety and well-being is the big topic amongst our teams at the moment, so we're trying to keep our staff safe and happy. Mental health wellness is a really big one at the moment, as I'm sure is the case with everyone, so we're working on a few initiatives there that will help there. Helping each other as golf courses, golf course maintenance teams is going to become more important for clubs that might be struggling a little bit. Helping with staff, sharing equipment and ideas. So we're going to try and help each other out that way. Things that we also really need to consider is the level of maintenance and the high standards compared to what our budgets will allow going forwards. Obviously, we know, again, budgets will be constrained, but it's still important that we provide a high level of product out there so people can enjoy it and still be keen and coming and playing golf. If we let the standards slide too much, we risk losing some of our business. And I think we've got an opportunity now where we have the ability for people to play golf that many other sports don't. So I think we can do a lot of good for ourselves if we can maintain those high levels of standard. And then just in finishing up job security, obviously that's a big talking point at the moment. A lot of teams are worried about maintaining team sizes and job security, and we hope this doesn't affect that too much. We're really looking forward to retaining as many teams and as many people as we can in the industry, considering that we already struggle to find good people, so retaining good people is a high priority for us. Yep, that's pretty much all from the NZGCSA for now. Look forward to seeing what we can do together, and let me know, please let us know if there's anything we can do to help anyone else.
Okay, thanks, Spencer. Right, so we'll go back to Des now, who's got his connection back up and running. So thanks, Des.
Okay, and thanks, Elizabeth, and apologies there. Helps when one person having a Zoom meeting drops off the line. I go back to the opportunities that opened up for the Golf Managers Association after lockdown. So we assisted the NZ Golf and related bodies to promote golf as a viable sporting option at alert level 3 and now at alert level 2 coming up. We developed a regular communication with our members and a wider club management community, and we provided an advisory service for both those organisations. So the actions we took was to implement weekly Zoom meetings, and the topics covered so far in the 2 weeks that that's been underway. The first one was a very good one on the financial implications of Covid-19 and its effect on golf clubs going forward. That was presented by Mike Rondell, who's on the executive of Canterbury Golf Association and past president of Harewood. Tomorrow we're having a surviving and thriving with the new 220 HR and safety issues, and that's put forward by a company called Intuition. And then future topics will cover member retention, and then further down the track, maximising profits from food and beverage. We launched a nationwide buddy scheme for managers. It's pairing them up, our experienced managers, with those that are new to the industry, of those who put their hand up to help. And so far we can report on a very successful uptake of that. We're producing regular member newsletters and online releases. So they're stressing the need for planning. We need to revisit strategic plans, revisit all supplier contracts, revisit all staff employment agreements, and make use of the business plan templates that we've got available. We also introduced weekly Friday night happy hours, a more relaxed environment, and we're getting between 70 and 80 people from throughout New Zealand join them, which is a great result. So we have guest speakers last week we had 3 senior management from the US join us. Jeffrey Creefel, GM at Congressional, Marcy Mills, GM at Mirabel Country Club in Arizona, and Dr. Jason Konigsfeld, who's our key lead support officer at Club Management America. For the future, golf as we know it, in my opinion, will never be the same. We need to plan, and adapt. We need to communicate, collaborate across the whole industry, and remember that the members are key. We know that there'll be a forecast drop-off in membership for a variety of reasons: redundancies, housing issues, age. So we have to come up with new marketing plans to keep our membership liquid. More people are now aware of golf thanks to increased media exposure in the last, almost 40 days now. Ask the question, has your club got the right categories for these people that are going to come forward as potential new members? Maybe the formats that we're playing at the moment need looking at. Are those new people going to look for 18 holes, or are they going to look for 9 or 3 or 6 holes? We need to make sure we use the PGA Pros to promote membership right across the country. And lastly, I'd like to see the reinstatement as soon as possible of the whole of golf conference. I see that as a major opportunity for everybody that's involved in the industry to come together, one and for all, and iron out issues and plan positively for the future. I'd like to thank New Zealand Golf and all the other sectors that have got us through our level 3, and now as we plan for level 2. Special note to the course supers and the work that they've done, and everybody else, those of you that are working at the coalface, for keeping golf at the forefront in these tough times. Thank you.
Thank you, Des. We'll go to Josh now, and then Carl has got something that he wants to talk about the whole of golf conference, but we'll go to Josh first for yours.
Yeah, look, I'll keep this pretty brief. I'm more nervous about my internet connection than I would be standing on the first tee with Carl, trying to hit a driver. Look, from us, we've been doing heaps over the last month. We've been really busy. Look, I realise that everybody's probably got a ton of questions which I want to get to. So if you want to know anything specific about what we've been up to, please ask our members or ask us directly. For us, the whole month has been about serving our community, which in this time is our members, and really trying to, and Don puts it really well, if we can come out of this with a highly skilled, highly motivated workforce, golf's going to be in a really good space. Yes, we're biased. We certainly think that PGA Pros can engage with the customer or the member, whatever you'd like to call them, on a much deeper and more meaningful level about their golf, and they have the skill set to do so. So everybody knows it's about participation, and it's about bringing people into and retaining them in the game. So I know from our side of things, we're really positive about it. Certainly we've been supporting New Zealand Golf in what they've been up to, and certainly their guidelines, and bringing those to life for our members. And I look forward to working with Carl and Dean a little bit shortly around some clear guidelines around the level 2 and coaching and participation initiatives on the coaching front and what that looks like. So yeah, look, on that note, I'd love to get to the questions myself, so I'll leave it there, Liz.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Carl, can we just go back to you for, you wanted to talk about the whole of golf conference.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just before we jump into the question stage, the third part of our role, as I noted, was bringing the industry together. And I just did want to touch on the fact that the board had done a lot of work around the whole of golf conference, and we were really excited, as were our partners and our speakers, to deliver that to you. We, unfortunately, bitterly disappointed that we weren't able to do that and have had to postpone that. As we currently sit, we are aiming for a similar time in 2021. The positive out of it is that while we haven't been able to deliver it this year, none of that work has gone to waste. Also, our partners and our speakers are still really excited to be involved, and still really excited about the concept. So once we have more information, we will deliver that to you. It's not off the cards at all. We're still very much planning to go ahead, and we're still really, really excited about it. So I just wanted to address that while we had everyone here.
Okay, thanks, Carl. Right, the bit that everybody's waiting for, some questions. Now, we've had some emailed in. I think the first lot were from Neville and Pip Idor. You addressed them sort of in some of what you said at the start, Carl. Have you got anything more you want to add on those questions that the Idors sent in yesterday? They were...
Yeah, so Liz, you actually caught me trying to speak to Matt from .golf to get an answer for Renee. Renee, I've given you half an answer in chat there. Well, I'll get a better answer that we'll email out to everyone in a moment. So,
sorry, if I just had something, Denise Langdon and I were having a conversation this morning, and we actually thought that .golf was and all this sort of thing was a big enough topic that will, and I haven't discussed this, we haven't discussed this with anybody else at NZGIC, but we were thinking that .golf and what they're doing is a whole forum subject. So we'll be planning a whole subject, whole session on that. There you go. Okay, Carl, back to you.
So are you're speaking about Neville's questions, were you specifically?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is one for probably all of us to try and answer, all of the associations that are on here, because it says, how does New Zealand Golf intend to take advantage of the opportunities to grow the game? The reality is that we're all in this together as associations to grow the game. So one thing I think we've all agreed on, that, and Des alluded to it, is that the game is likely to change, but we're already seeing some really positive opportunities. So as we come through the alert levels, New Zealand Golf and our partners will be putting our foot down on our initiatives to get people back to the game. So it's a key thing to know. We'll be assisting people to do that through our team on the ground, all of our technology provision, all of our support resources. So there'll be a lot of support there. What I'd really like to look at is the opportunity, particularly in the next short while. It's been alluded to already. We are one of the sports that can be played. You know, contact sports and team sports are going to struggle for a little bit. Those people that have golf as their secondary sport, you know, for the next short while, it will be their primary sport. And this is a superb opportunity for us as an industry to maybe convert golf, you know, either back to or to their primary sport. And each individual organisation or each individual person at a club, whether it be a pro or a manager or a governor, will have a role to play in that. And we'll all need to distinctly understand what our unique proposition is and really get that in front of people. So I'm really excited about, as we start to bring golf out of these alert levels, how we can use this opportunity to attract new people to the game, and then also reiterate its value to the current members that we have too in our core audience. So Neville, I hope that's answered some ways your questions here. How can they best be publicised? How can they best be publicised? I think we're all in that. There's going to be parts of it through social media. There'll be parts of it person to person. It'll just be the industry getting out and getting active as early as we can.
Thank you. Okay, we also had questions from Andrew Wiley. What investment in golf will New Zealand Golf put back into promoting the game and encouraging new players over the next 6 to 12 months? Carl, do you want to address that one?
Yes, it's an interesting choice of words from Andrew, but I know Andrew extremely well. Putting back in would suggest that we've taken some out. There's, I see a few smirks there. The key scenario will be maintaining our core audience and then growing the biggest opportunity areas. Now that hasn't changed in our strategy at all. We've been very clear that membership in our core audience is key to financial sustainability. We'll continue to support that through our Love Membership campaign, which is going to is undergoing right now a huge revamp. There'll be a lot more promotion around why people value their membership, what the value of golf club membership is. And then on the other side of things, we've been overt in saying that new people to the game are extremely important, particularly those that are underrepresented in our game, youth and women. And so we will support those through our She Loves Golf campaign and our Futures campaign. But there's also other opportunities that I know Josh and Des and I have spoken about that pros and managers are looking at. So I don't want to steal your guys' thunder if you wanted to jump in on some of the work that you guys have been doing.
I think engagement is the key word. We'll be encouraging our managers to engage with their members on a regular basis using Zoom, just to get their ideas across on member retention and member acquisition, and also promotion of the game. Josh, do you want to add to anything now?
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, most of the proactive pros that have been out there have been and will continue to engage with members. I mean, certainly over this period of time, it's never been more highlighted to them about the importance of the customer and the importance of the golfer. Without it, everything just stops. So for those that didn't have, I guess, their needs and wants and desires, I guess, around the game of golf as a primary concern and what they were doing, yeah, they will get left behind over the next little bit of time. So certainly we've seen that new to golf learner programs, bringing people into the new game, and a really healthy and vibrant youth programs. Certainly on from PGA members, they know how to engage in those better than anybody. And certainly a lot of our work has been centered around that. So all of the pros that have been engaging with us over this time, and it would be well up over 60–70% of our membership base, which is good because I probably didn't know 30% of the membership base before this month. It's really positive. Like, they're really looking like they want to, and we'll be doing some cool stuff coming out of the other side of this.
Cool. Okay, there was a second part to that. What opportunities do the industry experts see for golf over the next 6 to 12 months? Which I think by getting you all to talk to that, we've addressed that. But we can do more deeper answers to those in emails to everybody. There's also a question from Palmerston Golf. At what stage does essential course maintenance under level 4 become normal maintenance in general course activities, i.e. non-biological assets, level 3 or 2? Spencer, that's one for you.
Yeah. That's a difficult one to answer right now. We seem to think that under level 2, we'll be able to go back to doing more non-essential kinds of maintenance. As I mentioned earlier, more projects will be allowed, renovations, that sort of thing. So I think level 2 will see an easing of the restrictions and allow for us to expand. Definitely at level 1, I foresee that it should be pretty much back to normal, I would hope.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, Liz, that while we had great debate and discussion around what maintenance looked like under level 4, and a lot of advocacy went into that space and a lot of thinking from the government, we've had very little guidance around level 3. In fact, it suggests it's almost close to none around the difference between alert level 4 and alert level 3. So I think people are taking their best estimate as to how to maintain safety while doing what needs to be done on the course.
Yeah.
Would that be fair, Spencer?
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. But I would also like to say I think it's important to try and maintain as high possible standards to keep attracting business and revenue and new golfers and so on and so forth, so we can secure ourselves going forwards as an industry. If we let the standards slide too much, and keep in mind that you think it might not be essential maintenance. Well, if our standards slide too much, then it is essential, because we're going to start losing revenue and hence losing staff and more resources and so on and so forth. So it's really important that we maintain high standards even at essential maintenance.
Yeah. Thank you. I think I have picked up all the questions that have been coming through in the chat have pretty much been answered. One of the things that to make people aware of is everybody who's spoken has alluded to the fact that they've been doing Zoom meetings and Zoom sessions with their members. We will try and get a list together of various things that are happening that other people can possibly join into from the different sectors, and put that on. We'll send an email out to people, and we'll perhaps get that up on our Facebook page and on the website, so that you know what is going on in the different areas that you can join into if it's set up that it's open to the public. So something for, I'll get the other guys to send me that information in. And if anybody knows of anything outside even of New Zealand that would be of interest to us, somebody sent something in, we'll add those to the list as well, because we'll try and make our Facebook page and website sort of the hub with bits from all of the different sectors, so that people can come to one place to get all their info rather than having to look at all the different sectors. It was that.
I'll just jump in there, Elizabeth.
Yes,
I'll just jump in there, Elizabeth. Just a general invite to join the G-Man's happy hour on Friday. Dean Murphy has offered to come along as our guest, 4 o'clock, and give us an update on movements around L2 and bring you up to date with as much information he knows at that stage. Challenge for me now is, how do I get that information out to everybody?
Yeah, we'll get the meeting ID and things from theirs and email it out, and all the information you need, and email it out to everybody. Right. Now we are after 11. We wanted to keep this short and sweet, but I realise that a lot of you may have questions. So if you have a question that you really, really want answered now, if you can just put your name into the chat or send me a message so I know to let you go, just please do that now if you have a burning question to ask. While that's happening, if anybody does have a question, we're going to be having another meeting at the same time next week, Thursday, 10:15 a.m, where we will have, which was open to everybody, where we will have Dave Mangan and Phil Aiken from New Zealand Golf and Jeff Smart from the NZPGA, and the focus is going to be about actually how playing golf will look in the rest of level 3 and in level 2 and level 1 before we get back to whatever our new normal is. So we will be sending out and notifying everybody as we did the last time with that one. That invitation should be going out tomorrow once we've finalised a few details on it. But 10:15 a.m. next Thursday, the 7th of May, Dave Mangan, Phil Aiken and Jeff Smart will be with us. So,
Liz, and Liz, I know everybody's shooting off, but I certainly know Carl and I are hanging around for about 10 minutes if anybody needs or has anything pressing. I don't know about anybody else, but we'll certainly be here for the next little bit as everyone filters out.
As well.
Yeah. Now, Matt Smith is here and he's happy to wait on a little bit and answer any questions from around .golf, so you can add those into the chat. I'm just trying to read through all the things there to see if I've missed anything. From Stuart Beard, could the 4-ball concept be scrapped? From what I've seen so far, we've had 180 golfers a day with 0 hold-ups.
I really like this question. Is Stuart, are you able to talk to it?
Stuart, you'll need to unmute yourself. If I can.
Yep, I'm here.
Go.
Yeah.
Explain it a bit more.
So our golf course has been pretty busy, pretty much non-stop from about 7:15 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon. And from what I've seen, there's been 0 hold-ups throughout the whole day, and golf has just been moving so quickly, and that makes for a more enjoyable game for everyone, I'm thinking.
How are you rolling it? Is it only one person able to book and then other people emailing in, or what's the system you guys are rolling?
I think one person's booking in, and if they've got a partner within their bubble they're allowed to play with, they can join in. But the majority of them are 2 balls and single player groups. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Stuart, yes, Denise is thinking the same thing as me. Stuart, for those of us who don't know, can you tell us which club you are at?
Akarana Golf Club in Auckland.
Thank you. Okay. PJ Campbell says that's how we're operating at Howick.
Yeah, I think it's a challenging one now because what we're seeing is golf moving from 0 operation to some operation. The realities of trying to serve your core membership plus green fee players, the cost to get someone to the tee, we'll likely see a shift more back towards normality, just purely from a financial sense. But there's no doubt that people are looking at the scenario now going, well, how do we take the best out of this world where things are fast moving? We can monitor things. Golf is actually, the demand for golf has increased, and maybe balance that with some of our more traditional club competitions. I'd be interested to see what, Josh, what your thoughts were on it.
Yeah, look, I think we're in a false economy to effect where, yes, everybody's just keen to get on the golf course. But the reality is that when we're saying this is what works for us, this is what works for the club, this is going great, it's moving through, we're not really recognizing that golf is all about the customer. And if you look at every single piece of survey or research that comes out of New Zealand Golf and TM and their insights team, why do I play golf? To be with my friends. So it's a pretty hard one for us to, as an industry, to say, well, let's reduce this, let's do that. We're taking away one of the core reasons that people get engaged in any sort of sport or activity, which is to connect with their friends, enjoy social time, or yes, with their family. So I agree with Carl. We'll be able to take some learnings from this time and apply it to a point. But I think if we start to go down that route of reducing the amount of connection that people can get on the golf course, I think that will be at our detriment long term.
Yeah. I'm looking at all the conversations or the comments that are coming in through the chat, and it's obviously something that a lot of people have different ideas on, and it's the sort of thing that, as a person who's not working specifically in the industry now, I would, as an observer, I would sort of say it's something that each club might have to look at what works for them and how they fit it in with all the guidelines and everything. It's yeah, it's a big issue for people to look at. Right, have we got any other questions from people? No? Yeah. Comment, we'll get Dave and Phil to perhaps expand and talk on those things a little bit more next week when they're here. So it's sort of, come back next week, tune again, same time, same place next week. So if there are no more questions, we're already a little bit over our time, but that's fine. I think it's important to carry on with this. We'll just quickly go through our 4 presenters and see if I've got anything they want to say in summary before we end the meeting. Carl.
No, just want to reiterate the final point I made from the introduction, which is from the whole Golf Industry Council board, a sincere thank you to everyone at the front line who's busting their chops to keep the game alive. We really do appreciate it, and we're here to help. So please reach out to us.
Spencer?
Yeah, thanks to all for all your support and help to get us back onto the course and maintaining our courses from the NZGCSA point of view. We feel pretty positive and confident that we can go onwards and upwards. I think, as everyone's saying, there's opportunities to grow the game, and we're behind that process all the way. I think, as I said, great times ahead, I think.
Yeah, thank you. Des had to go to another meeting, so he's already left. Josh, you get to sum it up.
Thanks, everyone. Look, I guess on my closing points, while we've all done, and we've seen it out there, we've done a wonderful job at connecting with the member and connecting with the consumer or the client. I hope that, and certainly our PGA pros are in that spot, that as an industry and as an organisation or a club itself, to have everybody in there working as closely together on a micro level, so that, you know, everybody's goals are aligned, everybody's looking for the same outcomes, so that all the things that I'm sure there's been 100 different webinars on around how to connect your team and how to align your organisation, to actually bring that stuff to life, because that's the only way as an industry ultimately that we'll be able to move forward. So yeah, certainly I know all the PGA members are pretty keen to get stuck in on that front. So I'm sure the rest of you are as well.
Okay, thank you. Well, we're 14 minutes past 11, so I think we will call an end to it there. And I thank you all for joining in. It was good to see so many people coming together. As I say, we'll be having our next one at 10:15 next Thursday. So we will send that invitation out tomorrow. It'll be about sort of the implications around actually playing golf from different perspectives. So tune in then, and have a good week to all of you. Thank you for coming along. Bye.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Well done.
Thank you. See you later.